अहो महीयसे जंतो जीविताशायता भवान् भीमापवर्जितं पिण्डम् आदत्ते गृहपालवत्. अहो, alas, Mahiyasi, O powerful Jantu of the living entities, Jivita Asham, hope for life, Yatha as much as Bhavan, you are, Bhima, O Bhimsen, a brother of Yudhishthira, Apavarjitam, remnants, Pindam, footstuff, Adatte, eaten by Grahapalavat, like a household dog. Alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living entity to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima. More powerful. You are staying like a dog. You are eating the remnants of the master given by Bhima. So quit the house, go away from here. It's not good taking facilities. It is very much important actually. Generally in old age, we like to take facilities from our children. It should not happen. There is a time one should quit all the, or give up all the comforts slowly. Take up Krishna consciousness, serve Lord very nicely. A way to go to Vana. Vanaprastha means take shelter of Lord, serve the temple very nicely. Vanaprasthis are very much important. After even 60 years, 55, 60 years, trying to stay in the house, enjoying the facilities is not good. You can be in the house, but your consciousness should be in the temple. You should always run to temple. So your presence in the house is just for the namesake for sleeping. Or what will happen is when you start seeing your younger children, your children are enjoying, naturally the tendency to enjoy will sprout. Comparison also will happen. See, your father did not give me all these facilities. My son is giving like this facility to his wife. Like all these things also will come. That is why it is said, one should go to yatras as much as yatras. You should go in yatras. Yatras will make a person come more closer to Krishna. One should go for the temple services. One remains at home after crossing even 50, 55, then he will only become a dog in the house. Simple. Sometimes dogs are cared and sometimes dogs are not cared. He's like a watchdog. If we really want to come out of all these things, we should go out of the house. Prabhupada has given us very wonderful services in the temple. He has built temple for us. We should go out, serve the temple, go out in yatras. Very important. Okay, Nimla read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. अहो महीयसी जंतो जीविताशायता भवान् भीमापावर्जितं पिण्डम् आदते गृहपालावत
Grahapalavat.
Translation: Alas, how powerful are the hopes of a living being to continue his life. Verily, you are living just like a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Bhima. Purport: a sadhu should never flatter kings or rich men to live comfortably at their cost. A sadhu is to speak to the householders about the naked truth of life so that they may come to their senses about the precarious life in material existence. Dhritarashtra is a typical example of an attached old man in household life. He had become a pauper in the true sense, yet he wanted to live comfortably in the house of a Pandavas, of whom Bhima especially is mentioned because personally he killed two prominent sons of Dhritarashtra, namely Duryodhan and Dushasan. These two sons were very much dear to him for their notorious and nefarious activities, and Bhima is particularly pointed out because he killed these two pet sons. Why was Dhritarashtra living there at the house of the Pandavas? Because he wanted to continue his life comfortably, even at the risk of all humiliation. Vidur therefore was astonished how powerful is the urge to continue life. This sense of continuing one's life indicates that a living being is eternally a living entity and does not want to change his bodily habitation. The foolish man does not know that a particular term of bodily existence is awarded to him to undergo a term of imprisonment, and the human body is awarded after many, many births and deaths as a chance for self realization to go back home, back to Godhead. But persons like Dhritarashtra try to make plans to live there in a comfortable position with profit and interest, for they do not see things as they are. Dhritarashtra is blind and continues to hope to live comfortably in the midst of all kinds of reverses of life. A sadhu like Vidur is meant to awaken such blind persons and thus help them to go back to Godhead where life is eternal. Once going there, no one wants to come back to this material world of miseries. We can just imagine how responsible a task is entrusted to a sadhu like Mahatma Vedur. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Vidura is a sadhu. Sadhu means one who speaks truth, one who just doesn't give some flattering words. Many people don't like sadhu's words because he speaks truth. Sadhu is one who takes the scissor in the hand, roams with the scissor in the hand, cuts the material life. That is the meaning of sadhu. So now here Vidura is saying, you are staying like a dog, and that too staying in the remnants given by Bhima. So he's trying to tell the same Bhima actually killed your two sons, dear sons, who are the most notorious sons. And now you've forgotten all those things, still taking from his hands. You administered poison. You allowed your son to administer poison to Bhima when he was small. So such a hatred you had towards Bhima. And now the same Bhima is giving you comforts, remnants, and you're taking it. How shameful it is. Sometimes you can see old parents staying in the house and getting also scolded by the daughter-in-law, son-in-law. But still they want comforts. That is why majboor hai, kya kare? What majboor hai? Go to the temple, go and serve. One should be bold enough to come out of such comfort zones. Then only one can realize Krishna consciousness. Vanaprastha is very much important. Vanaprastha ashram, sometimes go visit children, that's okay. But not that go and stay there permanently. They should go and serve the temples. That's very much important. Wherever the temple is nearby, go and serve. Hear the classes, go and preach. There's so many people who want to hear, go and preach. There's so many children to whom you can go and preach. So many work we can do. We can expand the movement. This service includes preaching movement. Go and preach, go and talk to people, go and serve prasadam, and go and connect them, make them chant. Even if you cannot preach, okay, make them chant. Take some feedbacks, go talk to people. So this all is very much important activity. Agni nisrishto dattascha garodaraश्च दूषिताः हृतं क्षेत्रं धनं येषां तद्धत्तेरशुभिः कियत् अग्निर्निसृष्टो दत्तश्च. Agni fire, nisrishtah set, dattah given, cha and graha poison, dara married wife, cha and dushitah insulted, pritam azab, kshetram kingdom, dhanam wealth, yesham of those that there, that they given by ashubhihi subsisting, kiyat is unnecessary. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those whom you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted one of their wives and usurped their kingdom and wealth. The same thing just now we discussed that when Duryodhana is trying to administer poison, it was by the encouraging words of his father. Father wanted to kill Bhima. Father wanted to kill his Pandavas. So all these things was done to whom, one second, I just close the door. To whom you thought of killing, now you are there in their mercy. You are trying to take their mercy, trying to take all the comforts from them. Is the most degraded life. You are subsisting on their charity. You also insulted Draupadi, one of their wives. So, if you think all of that, you are sitting and eating in their house. Is it not shameful? Okay. There's other pro, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandava Pranam. Agnirnisrishto datascha karodarascha dushitaha ritam kshetram danam yesham tadatair ashubhi yat. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those who you tried to kill by arson and poisoning. You also insulted their married life and usurped their kingdom and wealth. Purport. The system of Varnashrama religion sets aside a part of one's life completely for the purpose of self-realization and attainment of salvation in the human form of life. There is a routine division of life, but persons like Dhritarashtra, even at their very ripened age, went to stay home, even in degraded condition of accepting charity from enemies. Vidura wanted to point this out and impressed upon him that it was better to die like his sons than accept such humiliating charity. 5,000 years ago, there was one Dhritarashtra, but at the present moment, there are Dhritarashtras in every home. Politicians especially do not retire from political activities unless they are degraded by the cruel hand of death or killed by some opposite element. To stick to family life to the end of one's human life is the grossest type of the degradation, and there is an absolute need for the Viduras to educate such Dhritarashtras even at the present moment. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada is saying there are some politicians who don't want to retire, but they just want to continue till they are killed. He is mentioning Gandhiji, because he was always telling Gandhiji that please retire, take up to Krishna consciousness. He did not listen. So there are Dhritarashtras in every home, here Prabhupada says. At least at time there was one Dhritarashtra, but now there are practically Dhritarashtras in every home. Tasyapi tava dehoyam kripanasya jijivisho paratyani chato chirno jaraya vasasi iva. Tasya of this api in spite of tava your deha body, I am this. Kripanasya of one who is miserly, jijivisho of you desire, who desire life, paraiti will dwindle. Anichataha, even unwilling. Jeerna, devoted. Jaraya, old. Vasasi, garment. Like. So despite your unwillingness to die, you don't want to die. No one wants to die. Yeah. And you desire to live even at the cost of honor and prestige. Your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. So Kripanas say you're so miserly. You're not using your intelligence to know the goal of life. Yoga etad aksharam gavigi aviditvasma lokas pritisa kripanaha. We have studied this. What is the meaning of kripana in 2nd chapter, 7th verse? Karpanya doshopahta sabhava Bhagavad Gita. So you are living in a miserly body. And jirna, your body is also becoming old, deteriorated. Jarayaha, it's becoming old. Anyhow, you have to change this garment. Dress is only a garment. You have to change that. Though unwilling, you have to change. You are desiring a life of honor and prestige, but this body is going to vanquish. Okay. Kusumataji.
Hare Krishna Matati, Dandavat Pranam. Tasya pitavat dehoyam upanasya jijivisho paraityanicchato jitno jaraya vasasi iva. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live, even at the cost of honor and prestige, your miserly body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment. But the words Kripanasya Jijiviso are significant. There are two classes of men. One is called the Kripana and the other is called the Brahmana. The Kripana or the miserly man has no estimation of his material body, but the Brahmana has a true estimation of himself and the material body. The Kripana, having a wrong estimation of his material body, wants to enjoy sense gratification with his utmost strength, and even in old age, he wants to become a young man by medical treatment or otherwise. Dhritarashtra is addressed herein as a Kripana because without any estimation of his material body, he wants to live at any cost. Vidura is trying to open his eyes to see that he cannot live more than his term and he must prepare for death. Since death is inevitable, why should he accept such a humiliating position for living? It is better to take the right path even at the risk of death. Human life is meant for finishing all kinds of miseries of material existence, and life should be so regulated that one can achieve the desired goal. Dhritarashtra, due to his wrong conception of life, had already spoiled 80% of his achieved energy, so it behooved him to utilize the remaining days of his miserly life for the ultimate good. Such a life is called miserly because one cannot properly utilize the assets of the human form of life. Only by good luck does such a miserly man meet a self-realized soul like Vidura, and by his instruction gets rid of the naysayings of material existence. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Gata swartam imam deham virakto mukta bandhanah avikyata jakit avikyata gatir jhayat savaidhira udhartah gata swartham gata swartham without being properly utilized. Imam this deham, material body, viraktah indifferently, muktah being freed, bandhanah from all obligations, avigyata gatihi unknown destination, jayat one should give up this body, saha such a person, why certainly dhira, undisturbed, udhartah is said to be known. So he is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. Gata swartham. So if the body is now useless, then what he should do? He should get freed from that bandhana, all the obligations. Go to some unknown destination and give up the body. Then he is known as an undisturbed person. He is freed from all obligations. Quits his material body when it has become useless. So you can read from here. So body anyhow when it becomes old, then generally a lot of problems starts. So then it is better quit the body and then take a new birth and take a new body and serve. So the person who is undisturbed, he knows that he is going to give up the body. He is undisturbed. He is not afraid of death. But he knows it is his last. Like our Guru Maharaj knew. He did not want to go to Dehradun, but still he thought, if I don't go to Dehradun, if I go to Chandigarh and give initiation, what will my guests think? I have called the guest and hosting the event in Dehradun, the land opening ceremony. So thus he was knowing that he is going to go. Because many months before also he was asking him, how much time am I going to live? Because he was preparing for what all best he can do before that. So he knew. It is said that was the day of Ekadashi, 4th May. He took his Twitter counter before entering the ventilation. He took Nariyal Pani, took the counter, went to ventilation, be peaceful. Ventilation is nothing but artificial breathing. Guru Maharaj knew it. He was also in a alone place. Because what is ICU? Your near and dear ones cannot come near you. Even though other patients were there, but still it's isolated. So it said here, only a person whose mind is undisturbed, he is not attached to anything, only that person can go to a remote place and quit his body. Okay. Ashok Anjabro, just.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Gat swartham imam deham virakto mukta bandhanaha avigyat gatir jarhat savaidhir udharataha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He is called undisturbed who goes to an unknown remote place and freed from all obligations, quits his material body when it has become useless. Purport. Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava sect, has sung, My Lord, I have simply wasted my life. Having obtained the human body, I have neglected to worship your lordship, and therefore I have willingly drunk poison. In other words, the human body is especially meant for cultivating knowledge of devotional service to the Lord, without which life becomes full of anxieties and miserable conditions. Therefore, one who has spoiled his life without such cultural activities is advised to leave home without knowledge of friends and relatives, and being thus freed from all obligations of family, society, country, etc., give up the body at some unknown destination so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. Hira means one who is not disturbed even when there is sufficient provocation. One cannot give up a comfortable family life due to his affectionate relation with wife and children. Self-realization is obstructed by such undue affection for family, and anyone is at all able to forget such a relation, he is called undisturbed or dhira. This is, however, the path of renunciation based on a frustrated life, but stabilization of such renunciation is possible only by association of bona fide saints and self-realized souls by which one can be engaged in loving devotional service of the Lord. Sincere surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is possible by awakening the transcendental sense of service. This is made possible by association with pure devotees of the Lord. Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was a source of liberation for this frustrated life. Hare.
Okay. So Dhritarashtra was lucky enough to have a brother whose very association was a source of liberation for this frustrated life. Lucky brother. Brother's sons are also very wonderful. Yah swakaat parato deha jata nirveda atmavan hridhi krutva hari geha pravrajit sarnarottamaha. Yah, anyone who swakaat, by his own awakening, paratava, or by hearing from another, iha, here in this world, jata, become nirveda, indifferent to material attachment, atmavan, consciousness, hridhi, within the heart, kritva, having been taken by Hari, personality of Godhead, gehat, from home, pravrajit, goes away, saha, he is narottamaha, first class human being. So who is a first class man? Who awakens and understands swakata, either by himself or from others, by hearing from others, the falsity and misery of this world. Nirvada, he becomes nirveda. You have heard this word, nirveda. In Bhagavad Gita, it is a nirveda. To whatever you have heard, for everything you become indifferent. Atmavan, consciousness. So he is completely indifferent to material attachment, hridhi, on the heart, kritvaha, having taken by. So in this way, he leaves the home. He knows the falsity and the misery of this world. And he leaves the home and he completely depends upon the Lord. That person is narottamaha. He goes away from the home. That means he goes away from the family responsibilities, because there is no responsibility once the children are grown up. Even if you want to go on taking responsibility for that, there is no end. Actually, once you grow the child and now they have their own family, then you have done your responsibility. You're done with all the responsibility. Then a person, what he should do, he should come out of all the graha bandhana. He should understand the nature of this material world, the misery of this material world. Then only he can serve Krishna, Harim. He can serve Krishna. So he should go away from the home, pravrajet. So home here refers to all the family bondings. He has to come out of all those things. Okay. Krishna Priya Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yasvakat parato veha jatar nirveda atmavan hridhi krutva harim gehat pravrajesva narottamaha. Purport and translation and purport by Shil Prabhupada ki jai. He is certainly a first-class man who awakens and understands, either by himself or from others, the falsity and misery of this material world, and thus leaves home and depends fully on the personality of Godhead, residing within his heart. Purport. There are three classes of transcendentalists, namely, first one, the Dhira, or the one who is not disturbed by being away from family association. Second one, in the renounced order of life, a sannyasi by frustrated sentiment. And third, a sincere devotee of the Lord, who awakens God consciousness by hearing and chanting and leaves home depending completely on the personality of Godhead, who resides in his heart. The idea is that the renounced order of life, after a frustrated life of sentiment in the material world, maybe the stepping stone on the path of self-realization. But real perfection of the path of liberation is attained. One is practiced to depend fully on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who lives in everyone's heart as Paramatma. One may live in the darkest jungle alone out of home, but a steadfast devotee knows very well that he is not alone. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is within him. He can protect his sincere devotee in any awakened circumstances, who should therefore practice devotional service at home, hearing and chanting the holy name, quality, form, pastime, encouraging, etc., in association with pure devotees. And this practice will help one awaken God consciousness in proportion in one's sincerity of purpose. One who desires material benefit by such devotional activities can never depend on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he sits in everyone's heart. Nor does the Lord give any direction to person who worship him for material gain. Such materialistic devotees may be blessed by the Lord with material benefits, but they cannot reach the stage of the first class human being. As above mentioned, there are many examples of such sincere devotees in the history of the world, especially in India, and they are our guides on the path of self-realization. Mahatma Vidura is one such great devotee of the Lord, and we should all try to follow in his lotus footsteps for self-realization. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Maharaj Vidura is one such great devotee. One should try to follow in his footsteps.
Mataji, here I have one doubt. Can I ask? Here it mentioned give up the body at some unknown destination so that others may not know where and how he has met his death. So many times they said taking this kind of death also it's a sinful activity. That means if our body is to help others, that means we can continue our life. Otherwise, we have to finish our life. It is like that.
It's not suicide. It has not been told commit suicide. No. Go to an unknown place and chant. Unknown place here also refers to go to a solitary place, temples. Generally, people don't come. The family members who are against you going to the temple, go and sit in the temple and chant. That destination where nobody likes to come. Generally, material people don't like to come in that destination. Go to that place. It's an unknown place. It is unknown means unknown refers to not known to the materialistic people. Simple. When you say unknown, what is it unknown? Not much known by the materialistic people. That is why many old people, they come, they sit in the temple, they chant, they do some services. That is known as Grahastha Jiva. Grahasthas means one who should finish off the duties and take up to self-realization, the path of self-realization. So now when the body becomes useless, then go to the unknown place and spend time more there, then spend time there, and chant and leave up the body. Okay? Okay? Atho dhirchim disham yatu swair akyata gatir bhavan itorvak prayashah kalah pumsam guna vikarshanaha. Atha therefore udichim, northern side, disham direction. Yatu, please go away, swai, by your relatives. Agyataha, without knowledge. Gatihi, movements, bhavan, of yourself. Itaha, after this. Arvak, will usher in. Prayashaha, generally. Kalaha, time, pumsam of men. Guna, qualities. Vikarshana, diminishing. So go to the north immediately. without letting the relatives know. For soon the time will approach, which will diminish the good qualities of men. So the time is going to come. That means the age of Kali is going to start. Kali Yuga is going to come. Before that, just leave as soon as possible, without the knowledge of your relatives. Okay. Neeraj Prabhu, please read.
अथोदिचिं दिशं यातो स्वैरज्ञात गतिर्भवान् इतो इतोर्वाक्प्रायश्च काला पुंसां गुणविकर्षणा. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please therefore leave for the north immediately, without letting your relatives know, for soon that time will approach which will diminish the good qualities of men. Purport. One can compensate for a life of frustration by becoming a dheer or leaving home for good without communicating with relatives. And Vidur advised his eldest brother to adopt this way without delay, because very quickly the age of Kali was approaching. A conditioned soul is already degraded by the material association, and still in the Kali Yuga, the good qualities of a man will deteriorate to the lowest standard. He was advised to leave home before Kali Yuga approached, because the atmosphere which was created by Vidur, his valuable instructions on the facts of life, would fade away due to the influence of the age which was fast approaching. To become Narottama, or a first class human being, depending completely on the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, is not possible for any ordinary man. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7.28 that a person who is completely relieved of all the taints of sinful acts can alone depend on Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. The personality of Godhead. Dhrashtrashtra was advised by Vidura at least to become a dhira in the beginning, if it were impossible for him to become a sannyasi or a narottama. Persistently endeavoring on the line of self-realization helps a person to rise to the conditions of a narottama from the stage of a dhira. The dhira stage is attained after prolonged practice of the yoga system. But by the grace of Vidur, one can attain the stage immediately simply by willing to adopt the means of the dhira stage, which is preparatory stage for sannyasa. The sannyasa stage is the preparatory stage of Paramahansa, or the first grade devotee of the Lord. Hare
So
Krishna.
dhira sakala muhyati. Dehinosmin nitha dehe gaumaram yoganam jara tata dehan prapti. Dhira sakala muhyati. He is not disturbed by the change of one body to another body. He can see within this body itself, this one has changed so many bodies within this lifetime itself. So dhira is actually the first stage, preparatory stage for sannyas. He is like nirvedam. To whatever he has heard or what he is going to hear, he is very much peaceful. So when he attains the dhira stage, the sannyasi stage is a preparatory stage for Paramahamsa. Attains sannyas, and sannyas is a preparatory stage for Paramahamsa, the first great devotee. Okay. So I think we can stop here.
So, Mataji, I have a quick question, if I can ask.
Yeah.
So, very quickly, all these instructions that Vidura is speaking are applicable only for the Dwapar Yuga, not for Kali Yuga, right?
Who told?
No, I'm just getting, because the purport says that.
Prabhupada writes now, there are so many Dhritarashtra's now. Vidura is telling now, get lost. Go out.
But he said that these will not be applicable. Something the purport says now that
it will become difficult in the age of Kali. So
No, it is not told like that. Nowhere it has been told that it's going to be difficult in the age of Kali. As and when the Kali will progress, people will not hear. Instructions are the same. Invaluable instructions. They'll be the same. People's ears are not open. You see so many old people. They want to have some new things in their life. And there are people who are encouraging such old people also.
So,
They want to go for picnics.
so are we saying that all old people beyond a certain age, when their
They should
bodies
take up
are not,
Grahasth ashram.
they should
now give up Grahasth ashram and take up Vanaprastha ashram.
So what is the definition of Vanaprastha? Because in today's age, where do
There
you...
is no Vana. In today's age, there is no Vana. So what is the definition of Vanaprastha ashram? Take up devotion service. Simple.
Okay.
Take up devotion service. Go for preaching. Take up devotion service. Take the first shelter of the Guru. Learn. How many old people really come for the regular classes?
You're right.
They don't want to study Bhagavad Gita. But some show off is that they are first ready to do all those things. They want comforts in their houses. They don't want to walk on the streets. They don't want to feed Krishna Prasadam. They don't want to take up in a proper way. But what they serve, they tell this is Prasadam. It is not Prasadam. They do in whatever way they want. There is a problem. And many old people, they sit in the night and they gossip with each other. That's why benches are also made.
Yeah.
So many benches are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Senior citizens club and things like that.
Up to 11 o'clock, senior citizens will sit. After 11 o'clock, young girls, boys, and girls will sit. That's why benches are there. Posh buildings, more degradation. They don't sleep early also. And the young boys and girls, they think when these old people are going to go home, and they occupy their seat. That's more degradation. Instructions are always eternal. Shastras are the evidences. Bhagavatam is pramanam. Amala pramanam. Spotless instruction. It's the same for all the yugas. Because Bhagavatam has been given by Lord to Brahma. Then Brahma to Vyasa, Vyasa to Narada. Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa. Vyasa to Sukadeva Goswami. So these instructions are coming from Lord. In second canto you will have how Lord instructed Brahma. Chatur Shloki Bhagavatam. How Brahma instructed Narada. 10 subject matters of Bhagavatam. Same spoken by Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So instructions are the same.
So therefore, one should take up the process of devotional service and get, detached from the family life, which is what is understood so far. But in one of the purports, we also learned that one may live in the darkest jungles alone out of home. So that is not something which I believe is I'm not sure if this is something which is workable idea right now, because jungles.
1 minute. Where you have read? Which context you have read?
Only we read that, Mataji, in I think in 27. We read that.
Darkest region, darkest jungle.
Yeah, it was, there. One may live in the darkest jungle alone out of home.
First, you should go out of home. That is the most important. Go out of home. Start going out of all the family people.
Correct.
Meet them only when it is required. Not too much.
And Mataji, out of curiosity, should one take medical assistance and all those paraphernalia to cure the body also, is a question which is there in my mind now, because I am actually feeling guilty. Or my mother used to say, I don't need any of those things. She was kind of aloof from all those things. But I took her to the hospital. I took her to doctor, and then that is where the complications started actually. And she was always like, I don't need anything of those sorts. I don't want to go to a doctor. So, and she was reading Bhagavatam, which I am reading now. She was reading it then at that point of time.
Actually, there's a verse from Kulashekar Alwar. He says, Idam Shariram Parinama Peshalam. The Sharira is going to go in many Parinam. And what to do? Children love their parents. Children don't want to leave their parents. Now, you cannot ask the parents to go out. At the same time, the parents should go out. What is the meaning? Children will not leave you. But parents should not be attached. Parents leaving means the consciousness, because where you live and where you will go, the population is so much now, where you'll go. And if you go and stay in some forest, the forest also, now this forest also they are cutting and making hotels. The consciousness should be in Bhagavatam. Like your mother's consciousness was in Bhagavatam. I remember she used to come to hear Bhagavad Katha. Child will serve the parents. It is a duty of the son to serve the parents. But it is a duty of the parents to be aloof from such facilities. They can take it, at the same time, they should be away from it. They should not expect. Comes, doesn't come. Actually, giving more facilities to the old body is like torturing the body. This injection, that injection is torturing the body. Instead, you can give, when you know the time has come, you can give Ganga Jal. Instead of all these things, giving so much of medicine till the last. Same thing they did with our Guru Maharaj also. And Guru Maharaj did not want to go to hospital. But still, the devotees want. So till the last, all the things were tried out. Doctor is saying, ventilator, now no hopes, but still, what is it, balloon therapy, that therapy, this therapy. Somehow heart should function. It is not that we want, it is the time which says, the time has come, you cannot do anything. So if you go on trying to give one injection after another injection, you're torturing the body. Instead, you can bring home, chant the verses. It's more glorious death. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Vaibhav.
Any other question? Stopping. Panchakalpatru Beshak Pass.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Danvas Pranam Prabhu, Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol.